Good morning. Slightly cooler today, and we've had a bit of rain, so I decided to make this video inside the house. So it's always trying to find somewhere, trying to choose somewhere that might actually has the right light, and it's just a comfortable place to do it in. So during the lockdown, our son Daniel has come around regularly to see if we need any help, and he's cut the grass, and he's been available to do things that just are a real help, and yet sometimes there isn't anything that needs doing, and so he's just sat with us, and we've just enjoyed chatting. We have no agenda. He has no agenda. We're just enjoying each other's company. And it was in the context of having had an hour with him one day last week that the Lord began to speak to me and said, "You're made in my image." And you just simply have enjoyed and been thankful for the fellowship you've had with this adult son. And I said, yes, that's right. I really just enjoyed just the quietness of having him in the room and just chatting with him and with Charles, and no hassle, no rush, no let's get this over and done with. We need to communicate this, and then you can get on with what you want to do. So often our communication is of that ilk. And God spoke to me and said, "You're made in my image. And I actually enjoy having fellowship with you." And you may find that surprising to think that it came as a surprise, but in one way it did. Because often my interaction with the Lord is to be talking to him about people's problems, needs, asking for his wisdom. I have an agenda, often. And the Lord just said to me, "I enjoy just being with you." And I reflected on the fact that in the Garden of Eden, that's what he did with Adam and Eve. In the cool of the day, he came to them and he just walked in the garden with them. And we don't know what they talked about, but they just enjoyed each other. And then I remembered that I didn't know where it was, but actually it's in the Westminster Confession. There is a quote which I think originally came from St. Augustine, but I'm not sure about that. But it says, "The chief aim of man is to glorify God and to enjoy him forever." And I remembered that as I was just thinking about this, and I thought, well, I want to be able to enjoy God. I want to be able to have this sort of fellowship with him. I want to just enjoy him. And so it was pondering this that caused me to write the word for the week that I've written for this week, about just simply enjoying, taking time to be with God, just taking time to say, let's do this together. You could watch a sunset together. You could just say, "Lord, I'm determined as I just come to sit here and watch this beautiful sunset. I'm conscious that you're with me and that you're enjoying it too, even though you already made it, and but you're enjoying your creation with me." And what the Lord said to me was that whenever you spend time in my presence in this way, you may not actually know it, but I am actually imparting to you, simply because you are with me, simply because you're being it's as if you're clothed and every part of you is being impregnated with the presence of God. And there is a wonderful perfume that comes with that other people can recognize. A friend of ours who lived up in the island of Skye in the Hebrides, it was back in the I think the 70s, they were experiencing a real touch of God in their fellowship. And she was a teacher in a little primary school and had some very naughty 11-year-old boys, 10, 11-year-old boys in her class. But when she'd been to the prayer meeting, and the presence of Jesus had invaded that meeting, they all were aware in the meeting of a fragrance that was just wonderful, and it impregnated her clothes. And because it was very late at night when they'd had this prayer meeting, and she just put the same clothes on the next day and went into the school, and the kids, like in a very strange way, were very settled, very quiet, very unusually so. And it was that presence that she had experienced, but she also carried into the situation of her work. And it was, thinking about these things, I also remembered a Roman Catholic priest in Bristol who was very unusual. He was entrepreneurial. He had been, he'd come from a very business orientated, very wealthy, very go-getting sort of background, and he moved in, I don't know the full story, but he moved into a parish in Bristol which was quite poor, and he opened up his manse, vicarage, whatever Roman Catholics call it, and he had opened a restaurant in his own family house, and little restaurant, but it was fabulous, and we went there several times. It was in his dining room, and he got people in the parish to cook for the guests, and we just had a fabulous meal and ate off his own china, which was wonderful. And then one night he came around and he was just chatting to us, and we were asking him about the church. He had been involved in rebuilding this very, very rundown property. And then the thing that I remembered was that he told me, he said, I've got I can take you to the church. He said, I've joined my house to the church. And he said, in the morning, what I do is I get up, make myself a cup of coffee, and I just say, Lord, I'm coming to sit with you and drink my coffee. And he would just go, for him it was important where he sat, and he sat near where they keep the representation of the host, or for Catholics they keep the host with a red light. I'm not really into that, so I can't really explain it to you. But he just fellowshipped with the Lord. He said, this is where I come. I bring my coffee, I sit down here, and I just know I'm with the Lord, and we commune. And that, in some ways, is a strange concept for people who've been brought up, like read your Bible, pray every day. But I'm beginning to see the value in simply enjoying the presence of God. And I wrote what I wrote this week because we are made in the image of God. And just as we enjoy fellowship and the company of like-minded people and just being with people we love, so the Lord enjoys being with you and being with me. I was thinking that on the after the resurrection, he chose to meet the disciples on the beach. He cooked a breakfast for them. He had fish ready for them. And he welcomed them just into a very simple setting, but he enjoyed their company. And you can read the interaction with Peter at the end of John's Gospel. No looking back, no criticism, no condemnation, but looking forward and just saying, I'm with you. I want to be with you. I want you to become like me and enjoy being with people, enjoy having been with me, imbibing who I am, and actually letting who I am in you meet the needs of people that you'll meet in the everyday situations of life. To ponder this, when did you last just simply be with Jesus or be with the Father? When did you last consciously say, here I am, no agenda, nothing, I just want to be with you? And take time this week just to make a space where you can do just that. Be blessed.